What's up, Pac-Man?
Pac-Man.
Oh,
no,
not Pat-Man, Pac-Man. Because
I ate out all those ghosts.
Well, yeah, you're constantly being chased by the ghosts of your past, so. That's really what Pac-Man is. Pac-Man just has like PTSD, and he's just going through life, just eating little blocks, and the ghosts from his past come back and fucking make him kill himself.
The ghosts are just Vietnamese children.
Pac-Man was a nom.
Yeah, Pac-Man was a nom. He's just like, oh, leave me alone.
The ghosts are just the ghost of Charlie, just haunting him every night. He just wakes up in a cold sweat. Yeah,
it's like a Vietnamese woman he got pregnant that he shot just to hide his second family that he started in overseas.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool thing to do. And that's the thing a lot of people did. Like whenever we had like a big war, like people always came, you know, they always got second families. It's a very GI thing to do, very American military.
It's what one of my friends did, or not did, but
does.
Her mom was actually like the child of her grandfather had a baby with a woman in Vietnam, and then brought her over. Oh, and it was like, yeah, so she was like a bastard. He sired over there and brought her over.
He's sired. I love the word sired. A bastard. He's sired. Pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was like CIA or something. And I after he died, I helped my friend clean out his stuff, and it was like all weird like spy shit. It's very strange.
Yeah. Well, that's perfect for today's episode because we're talking about the CIA all day, baby.
Oh yeah,
CIA all day, because this is a CIA op podcast, as are all of the other dirtbag left podcasts you listen to, all paid for and funded by the CIA and patrons.
Did you see that thing where apparently, I guess Trump is supposedly like defund, like getting like abolishing this, or not abolishing the CIA, but like kind of like dismantling a lot of it. Like apparently a bunch of like moderators and Reddit groups were suddenly closed down because they were unmoderated.
Sure. Interesting. Wild.
It's interesting to think about.
Yeah, makes you think. Sure does. Hey Pat, did you know we have a Patreon?
I did, actually.
Yeah, it's over at patreon.com/dumbidiotbs. And that's kind of the home for all of our podcasts, including this one. Soy Trek, of course, the one you're listening to. The Media Dungeon, our movie podcast, and then Prison Breakdown, a carceral research podcast where we talk about prisons and prison stuff. Right now we're doing a series, 2-part series about cat programs in prison.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, I think that's really
We love
nice.
cats.
We do love cats, and we love, cats being used for rehabilitation for prisoners and for incentive for them to do better in life. Because,
It's true.
You don't want to disappoint your cat. No one wants to disappoint their cat.
I mean, yeah, I hope if I were ever in prison, I hope they'll let me have a cat.
Yeah.
Or I guess, if not, I'll have to be like the Birdman.
Right,
of Alcatraz or whatever.
You just wrangle cats.
I would just have to have. I hate birds though, so yeah, I would have to find like I would have to either like make a mouse my pet or something,
or you could like smuggle. You could like smuggle in a kitten through your asshole.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean
that'd be part of the rebirthing process, where then I could when I eject the cat from my bowels. It's like I gave birth to it.
yeah. I mean, that kitten would never love you. Like, even though you gave birth to it, it would never love you. It would look at you like sadly, and it would be like, "Yeah, that's the stinky man who stuffed me up his butthole."
That's the stinky man. I would have to give it like a straw, like it's like a makeshift scuba system, so it can breathe in there. just have like a little bit of a straw poking out of my butt. And I'm like, I hope they don't find this. It's like somehow the cat knows how to use a scuba system.
Apparently, there's a scuba fetish, which I found out about recently. I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
That is interesting. I mean, I don't know. People form all sorts of weird psychosexual connections with all sorts of different things. Like basically the Rescue Rangers developed, send people down like a path they never returned from. And
what are you telling me? You wouldn't bang Gadget out and like that little mouseussy?
Yeah, because that is one thing I could ever understood. Are the Rescue Rangers human size, or are they just like
no? They're like chipmunk size and mouse size.
Okay, yeah. So that means like everything in the Rescue Rangers world, because you never see humans, so everything was like, but also like a lot of the animals. I don't know. All the animals were kind of like generalized in size. Like they also had like a standard size, despite like their size differences in real life.
Yeah. I mean, did they? I feel like it pretty accurately represented the fact that they're small.
No, but I mean,
like
like they have.
No. Because there's like I got a picture of them with a dog here, and a dog is like really big compared to them.
Okay.
No, you're totally off base here.
Wait.
No,
okay. Maybe Baloo the bear was on a different. What show was he? He was on Rescue Rangers, wasn't he?
Baloo the bear from Jungle Book. He was on.
Yeah.
No,
it was another show he was on.
Or wait, are you talking Tailspin?
Tailspin. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, Tailspin. That's a totally different thing.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah. No, they've got. They're represented as small in here. They've got like dogs and stuff, and dogs are much larger than them.
Dogs are larger. So yeah, I don't know. That kind of like, so that means there's like they have a so like do dogs fly planes? So does that mean there's like dog size planes along with chipmunk size planes?
Maybe. I don't know. It doesn't look like
so
dogs
like
really have opposable thumbs here, whereas like chipmunks seem to. So yeah.
Okay, so dogs are dumb.
Yeah.
Got you. I just like dogs don't have sentience the way that chipmunks do.
They do. They just don't have opposable thumbs, so they can.
Okay. Oh, so they can talk.
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think like the people really understood like what they're implying with this.
Are you angry with the rule sets of the Rescue Rangers, Pat?
Yeah,
We were talking about the Rescue Rangers as like a fetish, and like now you're going off on like, I don't think the universe really makes a lot of sense.
It doesn't. Like, I don't know. So dogs can't fly planes.
I don't know. Maybe they can. I don't fucking know, dude. I don't care. I really don't care, man. You mistake me for someone who gives a fuck about what you're talking about.
That's true. I'm going on a weird tangent.
Yeah, so,
I got weird sleep last night.
Anyway, we have a Patreon at patreon.com.
Oh yeah.
If you still want to support us after that fucking ramble.
Maybe we could have like a Patreon exclusive episode where I just ramble about the Rescue Rangers without having seen it in 35 years.
I pretend to be on the air. Meanwhile, I'm just like jacking off and smoking weed. I come back after an hour. Well, that's a good place for us to wrap up. And you're like, yeah, sure. Right.
Yeah. Britt, I was in the middle of a thought right now.
That's probably why it's a good place for us to wrap it on up. So for as little as $2 a month, you can help support us, keep us editorially independent and ad-free. That means we can say whatever the fuck we want on here. Capitalism sucks. Kill Elon Musk in a video game. Kill Jeff Bezos with a firearm. No, don't do that. It's a joke. It's a joke. Joke.
Yeah,
joke.
You mean kill Elon Musk in Path of Exile.
Yes. Yeah. And Jeff Bezos in real life. The video game Real Life. There's a video game called Real Life. Kill him in that video.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sims Real Life.
Yep, sure. So for $5 a month, we give you a shout out and say thank you to people just like, here we go, speed run. Yeah. Time me. Here we go. Ready?
Let me get my timer out.
Okay.
Timer. Okay.
I'm ready, coach.
Ready?
Ready. Yeah. Count it down.
And go.
Nathan G, Papa Poison, Awful Star Trek Drawings, Jose Martinez, Gabe Siciliano, Robert Yolito, Asher Pliskin, Ethan Adams, Iggy, Abigail Simpson, Vinny, Gursky, Jormore, Kyle Simmons, Nick Savar, Shane Sawyer, Anthony Cabrera, Phil McCavity, Danny, Dylan Lance, Jordan Hill, Elizabeth Hearn, Luna Dahlia, Professor David Craning Sites, Danny Leone, B-Flig, Teddy, Jody, Trimp God, Shane Williams, Sam Mayo, Locke Van Isle, Skeptic, Gilliam McCrary, SFC Punk, 7 of 9, Star Trek Enjoyer, D. Riker, former Twink, and our good friends over at the Hate Speech Podcast. Done.
24 seconds.
24 seconds. 24. Beep, beep, beep. Yeah, with Jack Bauer. Jack off Bauer. Mm-hmm. Good. There's not enough time. Yeah. So, we thank those people. We really appreciate you for supporting us. What else we got? For $10 a month, you get access to the motherfucking
Media Dungeon. Fuck, I came.
So the Media Dungeon is my private movie server with over 21,000 films. It's a mean machine. It's pretty cool. Media Dungeon also has over 16,000 shows or something like that. I have no idea. I'm not even really keeping count anymore. It's just more media than any other streaming service and most streaming services combined. It's a lot of stuff.
So check it on out.
Check it on out. Don't chicken out. Check it out. Biatch.
Check it out.
Oh. Oh.
The sun, beautiful.
So yeah, that's our Patreon. $20 a month gets you access to Soy Trek merch. If you remember Soy Trek, little merch operation that Paramount shut down. Check us out. I just ordered the blanks in a week or so. I will be sending out sweatpants for the cold months to everybody. Everyone loves sweatpants.
Ooh.
Love sweatpants, don't we, folks? Yes, we do.
And make those sweatpants into stink pants.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean.
Fucking get your smegma all over them, baby. I want to patch a pre-cum on every pair of these sweatpants. Or if you got a vajayjay, you got an innie, fucking, I just want discharge.
Leave your snail trail up on that bitch.
Hell yeah. I want more discharge than the D-beat playlist. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that was a disgusting joke.
Yes, it was.
that was a truly horrendous joke. I'm so sorry. I'm
truly foul.
I'm gonna go to the gates of heaven, and they're gonna be like, "This discharge joke you made. Sorry, you can't be here." I'm like, oh fuck!
You actually go to secret special hell.
See, yeah, you go. They have like the 7 layers of hell. Well, you got a place underneath there for the real special cases for discharge
there's
jokes
an
like
8th
you.
one.
Yeah, there's you're going to 8th hell. Sorry, buddy. So yeah, that's our Patreon. Patreon.com/dumbidiotbs. Go check it out, or you know what's going to happen?
Wah, wah.
We're going to fucking kill you.
Aw, not me though.
That's because I'm going to kill you first.
Please. Put me out of my misery.
That's the self-assisted suicide air horn. So what are we doing? What are we doing here? What's going on today? What are we talking about? Are we talking about Section 31 again?
We are, actually.
Yeah, cool. We love Section 31. So last week, if you listened, you might have listened to our review of Section 31, the movie by Alex Kurtzman et al.
What a stinkeroo that was.
Oh, it was, here's that was my assessment of the film. I should have just done that for a full hour and 10 minutes instead of the review we actually did.
The doing is a little generous. I don't think you get a doink with that.
I don't know. Michelle Yeoh's in there. There was at least one of those moments.
Yeah, I guess there was. Yeah, if you can give it anything, it's that.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least we're reviewing, I think, what Section 31 was always intended to be, which is this like slimy evil creeps.
What do you mean? What it was always meant to be? This is the introduction and inception and writing of Section 31. This is what it is. This is what Section 31 is, and it was perverted by fucking Alex Kurtzman, J.J. Abrams et al.
Yeah, it definitely got the Alias treatment after this, where this is the first introduction of them, and this is like how they're conceived to be, which is just like, just evil creeps looking out for their own self-interest.
The real fundamental problem, though, is like in the writer's room of DS9, like they came up with this idea, and everyone like sat around and they're like, "Wow, what a terrifying idea! Let's go with it."
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like fucking in J.J. Abrams' writer's room, they watched this episode, I'm sure, and they're like, "What a cool idea! Let's go with it." Because like I don't know if you heard, but there was like an interview with J.J. Abrams and the director. I forget how to pronounce his name. I'm sorry, Olusegun Olomoni or something.
You mean Alex Kurtzman?
Oh yeah, sorry, Alex Kurtzman. They did an interview about Section 31, and Alex Kurtzman made it very clear. He said something like, I'm just paraphrasing here, like, we made this movie to show that like living in the utopian Star Trek future requires people like acting in the shadows or something, like, pretty much just saying like, hey, the CIA is pretty cool, guys. Well, I guess it's pretty fucking cool. It was embarrassing. Though. Fucking highly embarrassing.
And that's the self-justification the CIA has created for themselves, because they do everything the opposite. It's just like no American's going to benefit from a South American country being being disposed by CIA operatives, or having like crack cocaine, distributed into lower income areas.
Yeah, in order to fund fucking rebel like dictatorial army groups who end up rising to power and then attacking America in some way.
Yeah, if anything, since the inception of the CIA, the world has become less safe.
100%. I mean, for everybody else, like maybe a modicum more for America, but then we have shit like, like legitimate terrorist protests against things like the CIA. Like, if it weren't for the CIA, do you think 9/11 really would have happened?
No.
Yeah.
And also by benefiting Americans, you mean the millionaires and billionaires. Like like typically no one else reaps any of these benefits from the CIA.
No, it is the ruling class that is they are the colonialist arm of the business class in America.
Mm-hmm. Which makes like the idea of having like a CIA operation and a post-scarcity utopia almost absurd.
Almost.
Yeah.
Almost.
Completely absurd, yeah.
Right.
Because I also like, that's a thing, like you always felt like the Federation didn't have any sort of like goals of empire building. Like,
no.
Sure, like it, like their idea is to like welcome warp capable, civilizations into their fold willingly, and and there's a whole other motivation for the Federation being existing, not just like just to spread capitalism and destruction everywhere it goes. Like, that's not the Federation's deal.
No, if anything, they spread like socialism, like, and you have other factions that are like the Federation, like the Ferengi Alliance, that are like purely capitalist, like setting themselves apart from the Federation's ideals. And it is like when we have like a member of Starfleet in Ferengi presence or Ferengi society, it's very fish out of water. And it's made very clear that like they're uncomfortable with the idea of like rampant capitalism like we have here. There are colonialist elements of the Federation. I mean, they literally make colonies on worlds. But at the same time, like, it's made very clear that they don't force people or like bully or strong arm them into things like being in the Federation. Like, if someone's like, we don't want to be in the Federation, they're like, fine. And they just fucking go.
Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing to gain really from it. But yeah, I mean, but I think we talked about how like even the Section 31 movie isn't really about like a CIA style group. It's more of weird, like wacky mercenaries basically undoing the problem that they created.
Right.
So
yeah, and it is funny that the whole impetus of the plot there is like Georgiou was so evil that she created a weapon that would like end the universe, and now she has to stop that weapon. I'm like, what? So she is like the ultimate villain, but kind of the hero of this story, I guess. Like, why? Why do we have to do that? Like, why can't we have like an actual villain that's not the person who has like the plot in the motivations behind Section 31? I know we reviewed this last week, but I'm gonna go off some more. I've thought about it some more since then, and it just makes me so mad. Like, the villain of the film is a person who was made a slave by her and like disfigured by her. Like, he has a legitimate bone to pick. Like, but
I just realized he is Osama bin Laden.
Oh,
because
except he didn't was, like Osama bin Laden didn't like fake his own death or anything like that. He was like fully funded by the CIA. With the
Osama bin Laden was like given like basically given the power from the CIA, and that's almost what he did. He was, I guess, then he turned against like his own masters.
Yeah, a little bit, but at the same time, like, yeah, there was a lot of alliance switching there, like, because like, you know, at first Georgiou's evil, and she would have been fighting against herself in this scenario, but she's like semi-chaotic neutral now or something.
Yeah, it's hard to say what here even. She's like, I don't know. I think one thing where the movie went wrong is it should have like shown like her ruling a stupid like casino and neutral space is definitely like several steps down from being empire of the empress of the entire fucking galaxy, wherever she was. So it's just like you think like she would be like depressed or like her character would be depressed or like grappling with like this, like, because like this is like her at her worst. She's at rock bottom in her terms.
And it's strange to me that like Starfleet specifically sent her back in time, right? That was like the end of her arc on Discovery. It's like the fucking what was the name of the person who could open the portal? I forgot.
Wasn't it the
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So end of season 4, whatever. They decide 4, I think. They decide to send Georgiou back in time because like the person who could open the portal back in time was like, we have something very important for you to do. And apparently that important thing was running a fucking bar at a hotel casino, like Trump style. Like I'm like, what?
She's basically Quark, but with none of the charisma.
Kinda, yeah. I mean, she has some charisma. It's just like she's more of an action star than a fucking like sci-fi comedy star. I mean, she was in a great sci-fi comedy. One great sci-fi comedy. You know, and they had much more. The Daniels are much more competent directors than the creative team behind Section 31. And so, you know,
and actually had something to say.
It had a lot to say. Whereas Section 31, I think the message is, hey, maybe the CIA is kind of cool. Maybe they're just a ragtag group of howdy doos, you know.
Yeah, I'm just hoping like this just means like the reception it is received like probably means it's dead on arrival. Like they probably won't try to revive any sort of series out of this, even though like it ended on such a note where it's just like,
I mean, which is I think like that's a mixed bag, because Alex Kurtzman has overseen some great Star Trek. Like his hand was barely in the great Star Trek that he's created, like, you know, or created, like Lower Decks. He barely had a hand in, you know.
Yeah.
The 3rd season of Picard barely had a hand in, you know, this Strange New Worlds. Like the stuff he's mostly had a hand in, like Discovery and the early part of Picard were garbage. And then like the later fucking J.J. Abrams films. I mean, I guess he was part of all 3 of them, but like, I don't know. Yeah.
Best thing that could happen to him is get hit by a car.
Yeah, in a video game.
In a video game.
Yep, in Crazy Taxi. Yeah. So, yeah. But today we're watching a different Section 31. All right. We are watching some Deep Space Nine. This was voted on by our fans on our Patreon. So if you'd like to vote on what we watch every week, hit up our Patreon.
And this is a good one.
Oh, this is the best in for Section 31, in my opinion. So,
yeah.
We're watching Deep Space Nine, Season 6, Episode 18, Inquisition. This one first aired on April 8th, 1998, which is my 10th birthday. So happy 10th birthday to me.
Do you remember what you're doing your 10th birthday?
Yeah, I was well, let's see my uncle. And now I have to go to therapy for the rest of my life.
All because of your uncle's birthday present.
Yep. I mean,
that was not a roll of quarters in his pocket.
No, when your birthday present is like life becomes more complicated.
Mm-hmm.
So thanks
Just
a lot.
Downhill from there.
Thanks a lot, Uncle. Enjoy.
I bet you wish you were watching this episode of Deep Space Nine instead for your birthday.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. My only uncle he was a great guy. He blew his head off with a shotgun.
Whoa.
Wow! R.I.P. Uncle Bill.
R.I.P. dog.
R.I.P. He was a real one. So, speaking of a real one, Deep Space Nine, Season 6, Episode 18, Inquisition, was the 140th episode of Deep Space Nine and the 513th episode of Star Trek overall. It is the very first episode in the Section 31 and Julian Bashir arc, of which there are 3 episodes. We already discussed the 3rd episode. I forget the name, but we discussed it with Will Menaker from Chapo Trap House.
I remember that, yeah. How could I forget?
This episode was written by Bradley Thompson and David Weddle. So Bradley Thompson wrote 12 episodes of DS9 with his writing partner David Weddle, including Rules of Engagement, Sons and Daughters, Time's Orphan, Till Death Do Us Part, and Extreme Measures. And David Weddle also wrote 12 episodes of DS9 entirely with his writing partner Bradley Thompson. So these two were like inseparable as writing partners, including The Assignment, One Little Ship, The Reckoning, and Prodigal Daughter. This one is directed by none other than Michael motherfucking Dorn. Fucking Worf in the director's chair, baby! Yeah. So
they called him. Looks like there's 2 takes Frakes. I wonder what Michael Dorn's nickname was.
Hardcore Dorn.
Hardcore Dorn. Yeah. Oh man.
This is like I wonder how the scene would be if we all took off our clothes and had sex.
I think like this could probably be bad, but I think we should tell people that if they ever meet Michael Dorn in person, call him Hardcore Dorn and gauge his response.
Or call him Dornography.
Hardcore Dornography.
Yeah, how you doing?
How you doing?
I do not find this very humorous.
If you are killed by Michael Dorn, that is not our fault.
No. He's gonna fucking crush you with a blue barrel, baby. So you want to jump into this episode?
Let's do it.
So we open up and we are in Medbay, and old Jules Bashir is treating none other than his boyfriend, Miles O'Brien, who was in the holodeck kayaking, and he dislocated his shoulder. Next morning, Bashir is woken up very early, and he checks his alarm, and he's like, "Yo, what the fuck? I feel barely rested." And he makes sure to he asks the computer what the time is, and it's like, "No, I'm fucking sure. And Deep Space Nine has a visitor, none other than Luther Sloan, played by the wonderful William Sadler, R.I.P. Or wait, is he dead? No, he's still alive.
I don't think so. I was just like, wait, he died?
For some reason, I thought he died, but maybe not. Maybe who was also
he was just in the Bill and Ted movie, the newest one.
Right. Oh,
reprising his role as Death. Strangely enough.
I think I thought that because I think I was watching Red Letter Media, and one of them thought he died, and then they were like, "No, he's not dead."
He was just in the 3rd Bill and Ted movie. Yeah, it's probably been another stuff.
Death. Yeah, he was also deaf, so that maybe that's why I think he died.
Yeah.
So we got Luther Sloan there, and Sloan is there because he suspects that one of DS9 senior staff is a spy for the Dominion. And this is, deep into the Dominion War, so they're looking out for any moles possible. He confines everyone to quarters and tells them to await interrogation. We go to Bashir's interview, where Sloan is treating him cordially, asking some light questions about like his whereabouts and who he is. Later, O'Brien tells Bashir that his interrogation with Sloan lasted hours and focused entirely on Bashir. Sloan's like, so, is he the bottom or the top? Ryan's like, I don't know what you're talking about. He's like, or do you switch? Are you a side? Like, come on. Do you just do blowies? Like, what's your thing? What's your thing, guy?
Pull your pants down. Let me get a whiff of that thing.
Yeah,
let me it out right here.
Let me smell. Let me smell Bashir on that cock, little boy. Oh, you're definitely the top.
Yeah.
I can smell Bashir's breakfast on you, boy.
Get a whiff of that thing.
Yeah,
and we're done here. Let's go.
Yeah,
and that's the end of the episode.
Yeah, that's the end of Soy Trek now. That's gonna be the last thing we say to the audience. Let me get a whiff of that thing. The end. Good night, everybody.
Soy, 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 soy.
Yeah. So Bashir is brought back in for questioning, and Sloan is now very hostile. And he points out events from Bashir's past that seem to indicate disloyalty or dishonesty towards the Federation and Starfleet. Sloan proposes that when Bashir was imprisoned by the Dominion the previous year, and we had several episodes about that, he was persuaded to become a Dominion spy but repressed his memories of the choice, allowing him to believe he was a loyal Starfleet officer instead. Bashir refuses to accept Sloan's theory, but Sloan instead has him detained. Under what charges, I wonder? Is that legal in the Federation? Can you do that?
Eating a meal, a succulent Chinese meal.
Yes. R.I.P. to that guy, by the way. I know for sure he's dead because he died like a month or two ago. Very sad.
He's eating his succulent Chinese meals in heaven right now.
Oh yeah, he is. Yeah, he's getting cuffed in heaven.
He's into that. It's fine.
How dare you touch my penis? God, that guy's so.
Ah, yes, I see you know your judo well.
So Captain Sisko attends Bashir's next interrogation, pointing out holes in Sloan's arguments, but privately suggests to Bashir that Sloan's theories are, in fact, plausible. So, the next day, Bashir is beamed to a Dominion ship where he's greeted warmly by the Dominion representative, Wayun, played, of course, by none other than Jeffrey Combs.
I love how Jeffrey Combs sat through what I can only imagine be like 4 or 5 hours of makeup for probably 2 minutes of screen time in this episode.
Yeah, he does that a lot. I mean, oftentimes we get Wayun for a brief couple minutes, and that's all in an episode. I'm like, damn, okay. I mean,
yeah.
You got to think, same for Odo, episodes where Odo isn't on there, but he still had to get into makeup because basically everyone in the main cast has to at least make an appearance on every episode. Fucking Renee Auberjonois or fucking Armin Shimmerman, had to fucking just sit through, the entire day just so they could get screen time so they could get their paycheck for the episode, which isn't a bad deal. I mean, they didn't have to act or memorize any lines or actually do a job really.
Yeah, I think Quark is in this episode. You see Quark and it's basically for like a split second.
Yeah.
Like he's in a scene. Like I think when Bashir's being marched to the promenade, and you see Quark, and it's just like, damn.
Yeah.
He's that dude just like spent his entire day in a makeup chair for this.
So Wayun tells Bashir that he made a moral choice to help the Dominion in order to end the war quickly. And Bashir's like, wait, what? What the fuck, dog? I don't help nobody. I only help one person, and that's motherfucking Julian Bashir.
Yeah. Julian Bashir looks out for one guy, and that's Julian Bashir.
Fucking A. Bashir, wondering why Wayun and Sloan are trying to convince him of the same thing, concludes that Sloan is in fact the traitor. So, interesting theory. So eventually, Bashir is picked up by the DS9 crew, but they refuse to listen to his claim of innocence. Desperate, Bashir grabs O'Brien, who pulls his arm away. And Bashir is like, wait a second, you healed from that injury awfully quickly, didn't you? And O'Brien's like, no, it's fine. And he gives the wrong reason for the cause of his injury. I forget what it was, but
Bashir's just like, you hurt your arm the other day playing spring ball.
Oh yeah, and he's like, yeah, spring ball, that's it. And he's like, no, that was a lie, it was kayaking. And O'Brien's like, no.
Imagine doing so much research on all these guys. Like Sloan researched all the bridge crew from Deep Space Nine, only not to pick up that O'Brien loves playing, doing kayaking,
right?
On the holodeck.
I mean, they could have done a lot of things here. It could have been like Bashir's like, well, it's too bad about your smegma, and fucking O'Brien's like, yeah, I know, and he's like, ha, I caught you in a lie. You're circumcised. O'Brien's like,
Bashir's just like, wait, then you get a whiff of that thing.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
right. You got it wrong. O'Brien's the top.
Sloane's like, so Bashir suddenly realizes he is in a holodeck simulation, has been since the previous morning since he woke up. And Sloan,
also, isn't that a terrifying thing where it's just like a person, especially like an augmented person, like even an augmented person can't tell the difference between reality and a holodeck.
Yeah.
The point, it's like that's a terrifying prospect.
Yeah, at that point, like I would constantly like just be saying to myself, computer simulation off, or computer turn holodeck off, like just to be fucking sure. Like I would go around saying it in real life like a fucking madman.
Say it every morning when you wake up, and every night before you go to bed.
So Sloan ends the simulation and informs Bashir that his loyalty was being tested. Sloan explains that he is a member of Section 31, a secretive autonomous intelligence agency that kind of works for Starfleet. Kinda. Bashir questions the legality and ethics of his operation, but Sloan justifies their actions as necessary to protect the Federation. And this is crazy for like pre-Bush media.
Yeah.
Like this episode aired like only like 4 years before the Patriot Act. And we see how quickly times change for so many reasons.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, they at this point, I mean, still like the CIA has, cultivated very impressive quotes resume already before like the Patriot Act and everything else. It has always been encroaching on human rights and torturing people.
Right. But it's rare to see media that like so explicitly says like, hey, this is wrong.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like this is like a time before, because like as we see basically all the television directly after 9/11, you erased any sort of like commentary of any sort of like CIA or FBI. I think I think they're coming out with a TV show called FBI CIA. I don't know if you saw
I saw that. That's like that's something you'd see in Idiocracy. Like
exactly, yeah.
I mean,
that's where we are.
You talk like a fag, and your shit's all retarded.
Any sort of any sort of opinion or or criticism against the CIA is what became slowly like phased away.
Yeah,
after this point.
So, Sloan attempts to recruit Bashir into Section 31, but Bashir refuses and threatens to expose Section 31 to the general public. And Sloan doesn't want none of that. So on Deep Space Nine, Sisko reports that Starfleet Command neither confirms nor denies Section 31's existence. He predicts that Sloan will try to recruit Bashir again and orders him to accept so they can infiltrate from the inside and learn more. End of episode. End of episode. What do you think?
No, I love this episode because it really where Section 31, the movie, went wrong. This where it depicts them as like action heroes basically with superpowers. Yeah. Like this shows like how they would actually operate, which is just like just a handful of slimy guys.
Yeah, he's a little guy on a power trip. Like William Sadler's not a very big guy, and like
no.
Even Bashir almost kind of like towers over him, and he's just like this fucking evil little bureaucratic guy who's fucking just doing a psyop, trying to fuck with fucking Bashir. It's wild.
Yeah, their power lies in information, intimidation, and subterfuge, and it's just
torture.
Like that's basically how they exert their power, and I think this does that excellently, like very perfectly, because there's never any sort of like threat of violence of physical violence against him, but it's like implied violence and to force coercion out of Bashir, and then and definitely making their organization seem way more dangerous and encompassing to achieve their goals than it actually is.
Absolutely. I similarly love this episode. This is like a 9 out of 10 for me. Near perfect episode of Star Trek. It just has so much to say. It has a point. And its point is, hey, maybe the CIA is kind of fucking evil.
Yeah.
And that's a great point to make. The exact opposite point that Alex Kurtzman has been trying to make with Section 31, with the exact same tool. And it's wild that he's lost the vision, the original writer's vision, so fucking wildly. I would have been fine to see a Section 31 written by Bradley Thompson and David Weddle, but I don't think they were involved in that at all.
No. And that's the thing. I'm not even sure if Alex Kurtzman has any concept of what the CIA is, because if you asked him, it's it's just a bunch of crazy guys like in Suicide Squad. Who they do what needs to be done that can't be done through proper channels, which is
okay.
I guess be extreme.
This makes sense. So David Weddle and Bradley Thompson went on to work for All Mankind. For what's his face? Ronald D. Moore, his show. Which makes sense. He seems like a much cooler boss to have, who likes way cooler ideas than Alex Kurtzman.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I've been watching lots of Stargate, and I realized basically every single episode's was written by Peter DeLuise, Dom DeLuise's son.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah. And Peter DeLuise also has Dom DeLuise in an episode.
Nice.
But it's just Peter DeLuise directed a huge bulk of episodes and wrote a lot of them, and also is basically a creative consultant in every single episode. And
you know who Don
so
DeLuise has like the exact same energy as is the original Harry Mudd from TOS.
Yeah,
like the exact same energy. Like the me.
He does kind of play a character like that, or two characters really, in one episode and an episode of Stargate. But like, yeah, it's just interesting because I it was funny because I looked up like, oh wow, Peter DeLuise is a really great sci-fi writer, and I wonder what he's doing now, and it's all Lifetime movies. It was just like,
it happens.
Wow, that's wild.
He's getting work, you know. Fuck it, why not?
Yeah, he's getting work.
He probably AI
him.
generates all the scripts, or just has like a fucking like outline for a general Hallmark movie. And he's just like, okay, well, we need a new name for the country boy that steals back her heart. How about Toby? Yeah, Toby's perfect. All right, Toby.
Yeah, honestly, he probably writes those movies in in an afternoon. He's just like, you know, a lazy Sunday afternoon. He's just like, all right, honey, you know, take the kids out. You know, I'm just gonna bust out a.
Daddy's gonna make the next 6 months of our fucking life.
Yeah. I'm gonna bust. Yeah, just like quickly write a feature-length Lifetime movie about nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe they're entertaining. Like, I don't know. Like, Stargate's really funny at that. Like, so I'm just like, maybe some of that humor is like translated to that. But yeah, it's just sad to see like writers, like as you're saying, like the guys who wrote this, you know, just kind of like get away from Trek and onto other stuff. But what can you do?
Yeah. So some interesting stuff about the episode. So the producers originally wanted to cast Martin Sheen as Sloan, but they ultimately chose William Sadler.
Oh.
Yeah. According to Ira Bear, quote, "We needed someone who had real power as an actor who could keep you from jumping to a final conclusion about his character." Which, yeah, I feel that. Of Sloane's...
Yeah, that's fair. I mean...
So, of Sloane's leather outfit at the end of the episode, costume designer Robert Blackman explains, Ira asked for dark black, severe, hostile-looking garments. Well, that's black leather. And, yeah, I agree. It's the style on this episode is immaculate. It's so fucking cool.
That's actually one thing, like, I know, and I think probably where a lot of the confusion comes from on Alex Kurtzman's part, because it's like, you know, you put someone in all black leather, they look cool as fuck. Like CIA guys, they're like, now they're wearing lanyards and shit like that, you know, they're just wearing like, they're just lanyard freaks. But like, you know, back in like the early inception of the CIA, they're fucking just wearing like ill-fitting suits and looking like doofuses. Like, they weren't cool looking guys. They weren't wearing cool black leather stuff, you know? And so it's just like, Alex Kurtzman probably just watched that. If he did watch it, like, who's to say Alex Kurtzman even watched any of these episodes?
That's a great point.
But like, but yeah, he's, you know, but you see a guy in black and an all black leather suit looking cool as fuck. And you're like, he's the good guy. He's the badass that gets things done.
Yeah. But it's interesting to see, like, you know, Section 31 in this context, because before we had, like, you know, like the Obsidian Order and the Tal Shiar and other...
We're all understandably bad guys, which is
right, exactly. And, like, and this takes the same stance on Section 31, I feel, as it does on the Obsidian Order, Tal Shiar, et cetera, whereas, like, they're a shady government organization with no oversight, and that is a bad thing. I don't understand how we got to the Alex Kurtzman version of Section 31. I just don't see a through line there, unless he watched these episodes and was too dumb to understand them, or he has just been so mind poisoned by actual CIA operatives in his writer's room that he's like, no. The original writers were wrong.
I mean, I'm sure he just gets like a briefcase full of money. He's just like, okay. And they're just like, keep making CIA guys look good.
Keep making us propaganda. And he's like, whoopsie daisy, I guess I will.
Wow. That's one thing I will say is kind of like takes me out of Stargate sometimes, is it's like obviously worked very closely with the Air Force and making it. So there's a lot of really pro Air Force stuff in it.
Mm-hmm.
And even like one of the Air Force general at the time, the real Air Force general at the time makes an appearance in the show. So it's like, I don't know about this military propaganda, but it's my only complaint. But you could tell like Alex Kurtzman's definitely just like getting that CIA money.
Hell yeah, fucking count it up, baby. Gotta make that Skrilla.
Cha-ching.
Cha-ching. Yeah, so that's Inquisition. Great episode. Can't recommend it enough. It fucking rocks. It takes the right stance on Section 31, and Alex Kurtzman is taking a big shit on that. He just did one of those. He did a.
Big old stinky boy.
Yep, took a big old shit right on her face, just like Vince McMahon reportedly did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's just say, like, you know, Alex Kurtzman is like an unsuspecting woman using one of Chuck Berry's restaurant restrooms, and and Star Trek is Chuck Berry's face.
Hell yeah. Well, I think that's a good place for us to leave it. You got anything more to say?
I think I'm good.
Cool. Me too. Well, thanks for hanging with us, Trekkies, Trekkers, Soyagers, and, you know, all of you. Yeah, if you liked our show, please like, rate, and subscribe wherever you get podcasts. And, of course, check out our shit at patreon.com/dumbidiotbs. My name has been Britton.
I've been Pat.
You've been listening to Soy Trek.
Thanks for trekking with us, soy boys, girls, and other willy beans.
Hang dong.
Dong.
And shocker.
Shocker.
Soy, 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 soy.
Soy.
Soy, 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 soy. Soy, 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 soy.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. First, I'd like to thank the Academy, and I'd like to thank God? No, not God. Not God. God's no good. Well, thanks, Academy. Good night.